This video was brought to you by my beautiful Patreon community and my YouTube channel members. Thank you so much. Welcome back, boys and girls. Welcome back to Memory Lane. Today we're traveling back to 2018 with the Be Courageous convention. You remember that one? Well, today we'll be covering one of the most disturbing videos Jehovah's Witnesses have ever produced. It is a series titled Future Events That Will Require Courage. Get ready, it's about to get culty. You know, as always, we're doing the cringe challenge, so if you cringe, you lose. And when you cringe, let me know the exact moment you lost it. Let's get into it.
Well, brothers, the next item on the agenda is what we've been working on for the past 3 months. And Kevin, since this is your first elders meeting with us, maybe we can fill you in on the background.
Thanks, that'll be great.
We noted that some in the congregation were anxious because of unstable world conditions. And we decided to focus on strengthening the friends when shepherding so that they'd be able to face future events with courage.
JWs are anxious because of world conditions? Bro, when have they not been?
Yeah, we also wanted to commend them where they're already showing courage, to help them to see that the courage they develop now will help them to display courage in the future.
Luther, how do things go in your group? Maybe you can share an experience that gives an idea of the overall results.
Sure. I think the experience that best illustrates it is Mark O'Brien's. He was facing some serious pressure at work to compromise his neutrality.
Look, Mark, I understand you don't like to get involved in politics. I don't either. But if we don't protest this new bill, our company is gonna get hit with cutbacks and layoffs.
Joel, don't get me wrong. I'm concerned too, but I won't join the protest.
JWs are more than happy to reap the benefits of protests and labor unions, but they're not willing to raise a finger to support the cause because God's kingdom or something.
Okay, so you won't stand in line and protest, but at least sign the sheet to show you support the protest. It's not like you're voting or joining a political party. Your name won't even be noticed. We just need signatures. So far, everyone in the company is signed. Mark, I'm gonna be straight with you. The boss told me he's gonna have to let some people go. And your name is under serious consideration, depending on the outcome of this discussion. Just sign the paper, Mark.
Now you, reasonable member of the audience, might think that a tiny signature is not a big deal, cause it's not. But to an indoctrinated JW, even a tiny concession is equal to backstabbing God himself. The idea that you can't protest against government injustice is nowhere to be found in the Bible. Hell, Jesus protested against the temple elite, right? By overturning tables and kicking out the vendors. Even more hypocritical, Watchtower has protested against the government by taking them to court several times in several countries. And remember that time the governing body told JWs worldwide to write letters to Russia in order to protest the poor treatment of Russian JWs? Was that not a protest? So Watchtower can bend the rules and interact with the government, but then they expect their followers to risk their livelihood over one signature. Talk about a double standard.
Did he sign the paper?
No. And you know why? At that moment, he said a silent prayer that gave him the courage needed to remain neutral. Bruh. I commended him and I reminded him that displaying courage now is going to help him in the future.
Thanks, Luther. That's very encouraging to hear. Matthew, how do things go with you?
So did the guy lose his job? Who cares? What matters is that he remained obedient to the organization, cause that's what pays the bills, remaining neutral in politics.
Matthew, how do things go with your group?
Very good. In fact, Sally's experience is one that stands out for me.
Oh, this one's bad.
Hi.
Would you like to make a donation to the marathon?
No thank you.
No retail worker reacts like this if you refuse to donate. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I've been training for it, but I don't know. I hope I'm getting close. Yeah, no, I think so. What do you put next week? Oh, I think so.
I love how vague this sign is. Rainbow bracelet, two women holding hands, like, what is this promoting exactly?
Shall I put it in the bag, or do you want to wear it now?
No thank you.
What's wrong, honey? You got something against them?
Well, no, I don't have anything against him personally.
So what's the problem?
I respect that they have a right to choose their lifestyle, but as a Bible reader,
Excuse me! I'm a Bible reader too. I go to church, and our church is one of the biggest supporters for this marathon. So what are you trying to say?
The persecution complex goes crazy. This scene is so over the top, with the flash of light and the echoing voice. This is how the sheltered writers of Bethel imagine worldly people act, as intolerant bigots who can't take no for an answer. But this is exactly how religious people act. It's projection. In real life, if the JW lady turned down the bracelet, the cashier would have just shrugged it off. Hell, most JWs would have just taken the bracelet and put it in their bag, instead of causing a whole scene.
What are you trying to say?
Displaying courage now will help me display courage in the future. Well, I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and we believe the Bible teaches sex is for a man and a woman who are married.
Intolerant people.
She didn't even try to argue against the point. Intolerant is selling it short.
Wow. That sure took courage.
That's what I told her. And I asked her to think about when the political powers destroy false religion. At that time, people won't want to admit that they're religious. And so for us to admit that we're Jehovah's Witnesses then, well, that's going to require the same type of courage as she displayed at that market.
Wow.
Yep, because being homophobic now will help you remain faithful once the United Nations destroy all organized religion. Don't be afraid to show the world that you are a proud member of a doomsday cult and that there's no room in paradise for the rainbow people. That's for sure gonna attract more souls to your cause.
Do you recall a little over 10 years ago, we had the Kingdom News campaign, "The End of False Religion is Near."
Crazy how positive experiences are so rare. This dude had to reach back 10 years ago to find something worth telling. Alright, Gramps, hit us with your best.
During our shepherding visit with Sherry Spencer, she admitted that something happened to her during that campaign.
As a public service, I'm sharing in an earthwide distribution of this important message. That's your free copy.
Hey! What's this about? Are you trying to tell me that my religion is false and yours is true? Get off my property! If you come back again, I'm gonna set my dog on you! Nobody wants you here!
This was the track they were distributing back then. I mean, just take a look. The end of false religion is near. How is this not offensive? Imagine some strangers go knock on your door just to tell you your religion is about to be destroyed. I would be kinda pissed off, honestly. But of course, JWs love to make themselves the victims, even though much of the time the persecution they endure is kind of their own making. Also, this track did not age well at all. It was 15 years ago. So much for false religion being destroyed
soon. Sister Spencer said that experience stayed with her. To this day, she finds it very difficult to be in the ministry.
Well, duh.
Brothers, I feel like after all these years, if I can't get over this fear, I may not make it when times get harder.
What a crappy way to live, man.
Sister Spencer, you may be surprised to know that most of us get nervous when talking at the doors. I know that I do.
You're just trying to make me feel better.
No, I'm saying it because it's true.
Being courageous doesn't mean we won't get nervous. Sometimes being courageous means taking action even though we are nervous.
Thanks, that is encouraging.
Here's a suggestion that may help. We've discussed Psalm 27 and verse 14. Based on that scripture, the next time you're about to face a situation that calls for courage, whether it be in the ministry or otherwise, tell yourself you just need to do these 3 things. Pray, hope in Jehovah, and act.
Hope your Jehovah insurance covers you against German shepherds and pissed off householders.
You got it? Pray, hope in Jehovah, and act.
Wait, I'm going to write that down.
Woman, even a baby can memorize that.
Excellent. Helping the friends address their fears, it's really going to help when our message changes from good news to judgment. So Peter, let's hear from you next.
Let me let you in on the tea. The reason Jehovah's Witnesses want to preach courageously now is because they will soon have to deliver not a message of good news, but a message of judgment, essentially telling people they're going to be destroyed with no chance to repent anymore. So it's not enough to knock on strangers' doors every week. No, you also have to mentally prepare for persecution scenarios that are always imminent but never actually arrive. It's super exhausting.
So Peter, let's hear from you next.
Well, when we informed everyone that the publishers were going to be redistributed to the North or South congregation, let's just say some struggled with the idea.
Paula, did you see? They have us going to the South congregation and everybody else from our group is going to North.
Yeah, I saw that. My aunt and cousins will be going there too.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. They should keep you together. Well, at least the brothers said that the list was just a recommendation.
Well, they didn't say it exactly like that. They said if we had extenuating circumstances.
So you don't have to go if you don't want to go.
Obey and comply, boys. Obey and comply. Even with the most insignificant of rules.
But Kim, if everyone did that, don't you think...
Hi, Sister Taylor.
Oh, hello, girls.
I saw your name on the list for the South congregation, but your grandkids and their families, they're going to North. So what are you going to do?
What do you mean?
Well, are you going to North or are you going to South?
Now, sweetie, didn't you say you saw my name listed under the South congregation?
Yeah, but...
So, I'll be going to the South congregation.
Well, don't you think it would make more sense if you were in the same congregation as your grandkids and their families?
Yes, it makes more sense. But remember, you have to obey the elders' directions even when they make no sense. Like, I'm serious, I'm quoting verbatim.
Does it make more sense? Well, that's a whole different question.
Then answer it.
The brothers outlined an arrangement. They said they hoped we could support that arrangement, unless we had extenuating circumstances, and I don't have any right now. So, for me, it's simple. Whether I know all of the reasons or not, I'm going to support that arrangement. Oh, look, girls, I've got to go. Oh, and by the way, I hope to see you both in the South congregation.
Peter, you got a sec?
Yeah guys, so when this video was released, the Watchtower was dismantling and merging congregations left and right, and JWs were expected to go wherever they were assigned to, even if that meant being separated from their families and friends. You would think that a struggling religion would want to keep members as content as possible, but nope, they were just told to shut up and stop complaining. The level of control is unreal.
I think this experience well illustrates one way to show courage now, and that's by following the direction of the brothers taking the lead, even if we don't fully understand the reasons why this direction has been given.
Exactly. We've been told when Gog of Magog attacks Jehovah's people, we may receive direction that may not seem practical. So courageously following directions now will help us to do so then.
Just bring out the Kool-Aid already, dude.
So brothers, we're almost done. And if you don't mind, I'd like to share what happened with my group. The Monroes asked if I would join them on one of their family worship evenings.
So let's ask our final review question. How can we prepare ourselves for the events that are to come? Sarah?
We want to develop heartfelt obedience to the guidance that we receive.
Just a regular Wednesday night in my childhood. What, you weren't raised with graphic pictures of Armageddon? You missed out, man.
Now, so that we'll obey any future instructions Jehovah may give us. And so doing this
My brother is scared shitless. Just let him play some Nintendo, man.
will help us survive Armageddon.
Well said. Very nice, dear.
May I ask Brad a question?
Sure. Go ahead.
Brad, I notice you've really been focused on that picture. Do you mind if I ask what you're thinking about?
Well, will the brothers tell us how to fight the people who will be attacking us?
We won't need to do any fighting.
Now what will we need the instructions for? Are we just gonna stand there and do nothing?
Yes, that's the idea.
We don't know what those instructions will be, son.
Brad, when Armageddon comes, we'll have nothing to worry about. And we won't have to fight. We know that because of what Jehovah has done for his people in the past.
You mean order them to fight on his behalf with swords and everything? Sorry, dude, but you seem to have forgotten who you're worshiping here.
I'd like to show you an account. In 2 Chronicles, chapter 20. It was a time when Moabites and Ammonites started the war against the land of Judah, who's been ruled by King Jehoshaphat. Some of those Israelites were likely anxious, just like you. Jehoshaphat gathered Judah at the temple and began to inquire of Jehovah. And Jehovah caused a Levite named Jehaziel to give an answer that gave everyone courage.
What did he say?
Do not be afraid or be terrified because of this large crowd. For the battle is not yours, but God's. You will not need to fight this battle. Take your position, stand still, and see the salvation of Jehovah in your behalf. Jehovah turned the enemies against each other. By the time the Israelites arrived, not one soldier was left.
JWs love to fantasize on Old Testament tales where Jehovah massacres an entire army to save his people. But they don't realize that with Armageddon, it's not gonna be just a couple thousand soldiers. We're talking about 8 billion unbelievers who are executed in cold blood. How comforting, man.
It was obvious that Brad's courage was strengthened after reviewing this Bible account. And I'm happy to say that after our discussions, the friends in our group are more aware of how their own acts of courage now will help them be courageous in the future.
Why am I having such a hard time with this? Of course I'm going to go to the South congregation. There's no reason not to. But the problem is my attitude.
Again with the attitude policing. Didn't you just talk about this like a minute ago?
I've told others for years that there are times when we have to put aside our personal preferences to show our wholehearted support of Jehovah's sovereignty. This is one of those times. I need to be courageous and stand up to selfishness and independent thinking, even if it's my own.
It's so telling that independent thinking is associated with selfishness. No, man, you absolutely have to be an independent thinker, or else you'll be roped into a doomsday cult.
I was reminded. It's simple. When Jehovah's organization outlines an arrangement, we support it. Not just because we're supposed to. We do it with the right attitude.
Amen to that. That's a lesson we're all learning.
But I'm glad we're able to shepherd the congregation before the changes take place. Now our brothers and sisters are better equipped to face the challenges ahead with courage. It's been a real pleasure to serve with you all. Peter, would you please conclude our meeting with...
This was way cultier than I remember, holy cow. Doomsday paranoia, calls for obedience, blatant homophobia, persecution porn. This convention had it all. But this is the reality of life as a JW. I really used to believe that I would see the Great Tribulation and the Battle of Armageddon in my lifetime. I strived to obey the organization because that was the only way to be saved, and I lived in constant fear that I wasn't gonna make it through the tribulation because of my personal shortcomings. It's not a good way to live, believe me. At the end of this convention, they also released this music video, which we already covered previously, but pretty much all the characters in this drama survive the Great Tribulation when Jehovah jumps in last minute and destroys the army. You just can't make this up.
Get off my property! If you come back again, I'm gonna set my dog on you!
What the dog doing? So guys, let me know what you thought of this video in the comments below, and let me know the moment you lost the cringe challenge, because I love reading your comments. I'm trying to cover all the cult classics. I think I'm gonna be doing Jada Nita very soon, so smash that subscribe button so you don't miss on that one. A special thank you to my Patreon supporters and my YouTube channel members. If you would like to support my work, please head on over to Patreon or become a YouTube channel member. It's only $1 a month and you gain early access to all my work. Thank you so much. Take it easy guys, have a wonderful day, and stay away from the tower.
Bah. Goodbye, little sheep.